The children ask, when will dad come home? She smiles, hides the ache, though she feels alone.
The sun had barely risen over Memalari barracks in Maiduguri when Captain Musa Ibrahim kissed his sleeping son on the forehead and gave his wife, Halima, one last embrace. His uniform was pressed, his boots polished, and his heart heavy. Orders had come in the night, another deployment to the front lines of Operation Harden Kai in the northeast. No time for breakfast. No time for questions. Just time to go. For Halima, this was the 4th time in 6 years. Each departure tore at her heart like the first. She stood at the gate with their 6-year-old son, Sadiq, waving goodbye with a forced smile. Inside, her tears had already begun their familiar journey down her cheeks. While the world saw soldiers battling terrorists in the forest of Sambisa, few saw the quiet, persistent war being fought at home by wives like Halima and mothers like Mama Suleiman, whose 3 sons all wore the olive green of the Nigerian army. Halima bore the brunt of loneliness, fear, and parenting alone. Each time her phone buzzed, her heart skipped. Would it be Musa? Or worse, a call from an unknown number, delivering dreaded news? She was a teacher by profession, but her real job was being both mother and father. She fixed the generator when it failed. She disciplined and comforted Sadiq when he cried for his absent father. She held on to whispered prayers and the hope that Musa would come home whole. Musa, out in the humid, unforgiving terrain of Borno, lived 2 lives, one with his men in the field, dodging ambushes and leading patrols, and another in his heart, with Halima and Sadiq. He scribbled letters in a torn notebook during quiet nights, unsure if they'd ever reach her. He wrote about the smell of gunpowder, the brotherhood among his comrades, and the haunting silence after an encounter. But mostly, he wrote about her, her cooking, her smile, and Sadiq's growing resemblance to him. Tell Sadiq I miss his questions. Tell him his father is trying to make the country safer for him. These letters, often unsent, were Musa's therapy. His way of staying human in a place where death often felt closer than home. In the quiet town of Otokpo, Sergeant Grace Ogbona's children hadn't seen her in 8 months. A single mother of 2, she had joined the army to serve and survive. Her mother, Mama Chinyu, raised the children while Grace rotated between missions. The children marked her absences in calendar pages taped to the wall. Every phone call was a celebration. Every promise of coming home was circled in red, even when it didn't happen. Grace, like so many female soldiers, carried the guilt of leaving her children behind, even as she stood firm in the face of danger. The love of her children gave her courage. But the distance tested her faith. Musa's patrol was ambushed near the Boza Hills. He was lucky, 2 men from his unit weren't. After 48 hours in the bush, bruised and exhausted, they returned to base. Halima didn't know any of this until weeks later. The military was tight-lipped about field details, but Musa's tired voice over the phone said enough. I'm fine, he told her. You don't sound fine, she replied. I will be, when I see you. Months passed. Eventually, a brief 2-week leave was granted. When Musa finally returned home, Sadiq stared at him for a moment before leaping into his arms. Halima held on to her husband as though he might vanish again. Because he might. Those 2 weeks were not ordinary. They were sacred. Every minute counted. Every shared meal, every laugh, every quiet walk through the barracks became a precious memory. And when it was time to go again, Halima didn't cry at the gate. Not this time. She stood tall, holding Sadiq's hand. We'll be here, she said.
The children
Always.
ask, when will dad come home? She smiles, hides the ache, though she feels alone. A picture by the bed, his voice on the phone. Her heart's a battlefield, yet it's his throne. Silent hearts in a distant fight, holding on through the endless night.